Day 3 of the Rio Olympics saw more medals for Team GB, but it was a case of what could have been for other British athletes who were cursed to finish in fourth. Meanwhile, there was controversy at the pool as swimmers with doping convictions were booed as they received medals. Bronze for Daley and Goodfellow. Tom Daley and Dan Goodfellow won a bronze in the men's synchronized 10 meters platform at Rio 2016, with the British pair finishing behind gold medalists China and the USA. It was a fine achievement for Daley, a bronze medalist in the 10 meters platform in the 2012 Games, and Goodfellow, considering they only began working together in October, but they held their nerve in a tense finish at the open-air Maria-Lenk Aquatics Center. The German duo of Patrick Hosding and Sascha Klein had the bronze in their grasp, but it was snatched from them in the last dive of the competition. Needing to score 84 points or more, the Britons' final drive earned them a total of 89.64. Enough to take them into third position and spark jubilant celebrations from Daley in the 19-year-old Goodfellow. Following Edling's shooting gold, it was Team GB's fourth medal of the Games and lifted them into 10th place in the table. "I was nervous," Goodfellow admitted later. "But when we first started, we knew there would be pressure. And we knew we'd be the last divers to go. We just kept our nerve and stayed in the moment." Shooter Ling on target. Edling won the third medal of the Games for Team GB by finishing third in the men's trap shooting. It was the first time a Briton has won a medal in the discipline since Ian Peel clinched a silver at the 2000 Sydney Games. The 33-year-old Englishman finished joint fourth in the semi-final, but he comfortably won a shoot-off with Egypt's Ahmed Kamar to set up a bronze medal match against David Kosteletsky, the champion from the 2008 Olympics. Ling saw off his challenge 13-9 to win his first Olympic medal, with Croatia's Josip Glanovic winning his gold medal match against Giovanni Pellillo of Italy. "Shooting is a funny sport where sometimes you can go out there and things can go really well and other times you can hit a barn door," reflected Ling, who missed out on medals in 2 previous games. "It is a great sport and I really love it." Rugby Sevens shocker for Team GB. Australia beat New Zealand 24-17 in the final of the Women's Rugby Sevens, but it was a wretched day for the British team, who missed out on a medal. Having cruised into the semi-finals, Team GB were brushed aside by a powerful and pacey New Zealand side 25-7. The British women contributed to their own demise, with 2 of their number being sent to the sin bin in the first half for reckless tackles. That Kiwis exploited their numerical advantage to breeze into the final, but there they were beaten by a skillful Australian side. Team GB were favourites to win the bronze medal match, having thrashed Canada 22-0 in their final group game, but their morale was in tatters after the semi-final defeat, and the Canadians ran out comfortable winners 33-10. "We are massively disappointed," admitted captain Emily Scratt. "We came to this tournament wanting a medal, and we've come up a little bit short. It's been amazing, and if we've inspired a couple of people back home, then we are doing a decent job. We are just sorry we didn't bring home the medal." Gymnasts just miss out. Team GB failed to win a medal in the men's gymnastics team final as Japan took gold, with Russia second and China clinching the bronze. The British 4 of Louis Smith, Max Whitlock, Christian Thomas, Niall Wilson and Bryn Bevan were in contention for a bronze, but their hopes disappeared when Smith fell from the pommel horse in his final rotation. That cost Team GB precious points, and they finished on 269.725. Just behind China, who totaled 271.122 points. Chinese and Russian swimmers James Guy, Team GB's 200 meters freestyle world champion, also finished fourth in the pool, but the drama revolved around swimmers who have served drugs bans. Controversial Chinese swimmer Sun Yang, who tested positive for a heart booster in 2014, won gold in Guy's event, but few in the crowd applauded as he was presented with his winner's medal. There was a similar reception for Russian Yulia Efimova, who was suspended for steroids in 2013 but was allowed to race despite an IOC ruling that Russians with previous drugs convictions should be barred from the Games. She was roundly booed as she walked out for the 100 meters breaststroke final, in which she came second. She was also jeered during the medal ceremony. Never before had booing and jeering been targeted at swimmers about to receive Olympic medals. Rio has changed all of that. "Swimming is a sport at war, the Olympic Games with it," says the Times. Olympics 2016 diary, PT wins gold, Djokovic crashes at 7th of August. The opening weekend of the Olympics contained plenty of drama, with Geraint Thomas crashing out of the men's road race, but there was better news for Team GB on the second day of action. PT wins gold. Adam Peaty has won the first medal of the Games for Team GB, and it's a gold. The 21-year-old from Exeter destroyed the opposition in the men's 100 meters breaststroke in a world record time of 57.13 seconds. In beating London 2012 champion Cameron van der Burg of South Africa into second place, Petey became the first British male swimmer to win an Olympic swimming gold medal since Adrian Moorhouse, who won the same event in the 1988 Games. "It's so surreal to get Team GB's first gold," said Petey, who was 1.5 seconds quicker than van der Burg. "I did it for my country and that means so much for me." Shortly after Petey's triumph, there was more to celebrate for Team GB in the pool with a silver medal for Jazz Carlin in the women's 400 meters freestyle. The Welsh swimmer came home behind America's Katie Ledecky, who set a new world record, but Carlin showed superb strength in the final length to hold off the challenge from Leah Smith, another American. "I can't believe it, I'm on the edge of tears," said a delighted Carlin, who revealed that she went into her final still on high from watching Petey. "I was in the pool room watching Adam and I had goosebumps on the block. To see someone who's your teammate achieve a new world record and become Olympic champion right before you swim definitely got me pumped up." GB Sevens on course. Great Britain women's rugby team faced New Zealand on Monday in the semi-finals of the Olympic Sevens after two slick performances on Sunday. First, they brushed aside a strong Canadian team 22-0 in their final group game, a victory that set up a quarter-final clash with Fiji. Team GB got off to the perfect start with a try from Abby Brown after just 15 seconds. And Lolisha Naikato soon pulled a try back for the Pacific Islanders. The GB7 used their bench well in the second half to run out convincing 26-7 winners. The victory means Team GB plays New Zealand, who beat the USA in their quarter, while in the other semi-final Canada will take on Australia. More cycling drama. There was no happy ending for Lizzie Armitstead as the Yorkshire rider missed out on a medal in the women's road race. Ever since she was cleared to compete in the Games last week despite missing 3 doping control tests, controversy has surrounded Armitstead and it was clear she was affected by the intense media coverage. She never looked like finishing on the podium as the punishing 141 km course took its toll on the peloton, and it was Dutch rider Anna van der Breggen who crossed the line first in a time of 3 hours 51 minutes and 27 seconds, ahead of Sweden's Emma Johansson and Elisa Longa Borghini of Italy. Van der Breggen's victory, however, was marred by a terrible crash involving compatriot Annemiek van Vleuten, who was taken to hospital with concussion and 3 fractures in her back. Van Vleuten later tweeted from her hospital bed, saying she was fine but super disappointed. "I am now in the hospital with some injuries and fractures, but will be fine. Most of all super disappointed after best race of my career." Annemiek van Vleuten, at Vleuten. August 8, 2016. She fell while leading the race during a steep descent along the same stretch of road where Welsh cyclist Geraint Thomas fell during the men's road race on Saturday. Former Olympian Chris Boardman criticized the course, saying it was way past technical and dangerous. Djokovic, Williams and Murray tennis shocks. Andy Murray's chances of winning gold in the men's tennis have drastically improved after top seed Novak Djokovic suffered a shock defeat in his opening round match, although his hopes of a gold with brother Jamie in the doubles have been dashed. World number 1 Djokovic lost in straight sets to Argentina's Juan Martín del Potro. Delpo was the better player and he deserved to win. "That's sport," Djokovic said later. "In the decisive moments, he just came up with some extraordinary tennis and I have to congratulate him." And the Serb wasn't the only big name to fall in the first round as the usually invincible Williams sisters, Venus and Serena, losing to the Czech pairing of Lucy Sifrova and Barbora Strykova in the women's doubles. The American number 1 seeds, Olympic champions in 2000, 2008 and 2012, lost 6-3 6-4 in 93 minutes, leaving Serena to reflect, "We honestly didn't play our best whatsoever tonight. We played terrible and that basically showed in the results." It obviously wasn't a good date for siblings as James and Andy Murray were also beaten in their first round doubles match, but at least Andy avoided any shocks in his singles match with a 6-3, 6-2 defeat of Serbia's Viktor Troicki. Rowing. The Olympic organizers were forced to postpone Sunday's rowing program because of high winds, with Team GB gold medal hopefuls Heather Stanning and Helen Glover one of the crews affected. All of the races will now take place on Monday, where Glover and Stanning will begin their defense of their pairs title from 4:30 p.m. UK time. Gymnastics. The GB men and women's teams both qualified for the finals of the team events on the opening weekend of action in Rio, The women's team came fourth in qualifying even though Daley needed medical attention after falling on her neck during the floor routine. The men's team are also in today's team final, while Niall Wilson and Max Whitlock qualified for the individual all-around final. However, men's qualification was overshadowed by a horrific injury to French gymnast Mireille Said, who suffered a gruesome leg break during the vault. He was taken from the arena on a stretcher, only for medics to drop him as he was loaded onto the ambulance.